Randomizer fans, welcome to the opening round of Final Fantasy Randomizer Double Anti-Bingo Tournament. My name's Chad. I'm joined here with my Lucy. Or Lucky, sorry. How's it going? And it looks like he might just be having a quick mic check here, but he will be here shortly. Oh, there we go. Lucy, how's it going tonight?
It's going well, Chad. I didn't realize I muted myself there. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. So we have some double anti-bingo action. So do you want to give a quick overview of what that even means?
Sure. So we have double anti-bingo. So each of our runners are going to be picking another row, column, or diagonal for their opponent to do and selecting one for themselves. Object of today, fill out your row, fill out your opponent's chosen row, and then kill chaos. Go fast and try to find what you need to do it.
Awesome. So you can see on our layout, it's a little different than our traditional Final Fantasy Randomizer layouts. We have this big bingo card on the right, and we do have some rows selected already. So our runners have selected Zerocool will have to be doing column 2, and Zerocool is going to be the blue runner, I believe. It's showing green on my screen, but I believe he's going to be the blue runner. And Rojo is going to have to do row 4. So what do you think of these selections, Luffy, as someone who's also in this tournament?
So looking at these selections that they made, column 2, not too bad. We were talking a little bit about this beforehand. The promote as soon as possible and hit level 40 on one character, like you said, can be a little awkward. So we'll see how they handle that. And row 4, not too bad. I mean, you know, I don't like not taking through row 4 red mages, but depending on magic rolls, this can be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, do not use nuke could be atrocious if it's, you know, level 1 and your opponent just gets to nuke the entire seed. But if it's level even 5 and up, I'd say it's not the end of the world.
Right.
4 red mages, though, is not nearly as viable with no nuke unless there's like level 1 fade.
Right.
So, a little awkward. I'll quickly answer the question here. What does as soon as possible mean for the promote square? So if you have the tail, and if you have the floater, you don't need the canoe, but if you have the floater, because we have the Rukun Desert Dark Zone. So, you know, you have the floater, you have the tail, you can get in the air, you must go and promote immediately. Does this act? I don't actually know the ruling if you have to like leave a dungeon in the middle of it, but I'm assuming, yeah. Do you know that ruling?
So I believe that you just have to put some good faith in there. Like, say you're diving sea and you're on the Sharknado floor and you come across the tail and you have the floater down there as like a, you know, random loose item, which wouldn't exactly happen with the way things are. I think it's in good faith. If you kill Crack and keep going, then you go promote. But I mean, you do have to leave a grind if you're trying to get money to buy the tail, and you do have to put in an effort to at least do it.
Okay, so it looks like Sir Linkalot's saying that you do have to just leave the dungeon as you're in it. And I think he's one of the tournament organizers. So yeah, that's kind of nasty.
I would trust him then. That does not sound fun.
Yeah, but you can also just like go light your orb and then open the incentive box after if you're scared of finding the tail, you know?
That's true.
You can do some funky stuff like that. So yeah, row 2, I was also let's talk quickly about column 2. It's a little bit awkward there because when you take a nun and you need to have a character hit level 40, you're kind of wanting to do a black belt, but then the most important spell for a black belt is fast, and promoting as soon as possible is awful for a black belt because you get lower MDef. So kind of awkward to do column 2 here. But once again, Melee the Pirates, not the end of the world at all. Rest of the flags, it's just kind of the combination of them, but each of them individually isn't too bad.
I actually have the seed pulled up here as well, and I'm checking the bonuses and malices, and the black belt kind of friendly right now, plus 40 HP and ninja spells. So interesting.
Ninja spells is especially good. So ninja spells are going to be level 1 to 4. Level 1 to 4 spells for black magic, which is very, very, very powerful. And keep in mind that it's ninja spells, but that does not mean that your character will need to promote in order to get them. So your unpromoted black belt is going to have access to level 1 to 4 magic.
Yeah, and I think we were also talking about the Take 2 Thieves down there on the bottom right. Thief, this seed has access to the katana and black belt vitality, so that can make a thief play kind of interesting.
Yeah, see, interestingly enough, katana seems like a very random bonus, but Katana before promotion is actually an incredibly powerful buff for the thief. So it really should not be overlooked. We do have low random treasures on, which actually does make it a little bit worse because the guaranteed 2 katanas in the pool without randomized treasures on is very, very important for the thief's viability. So here we're not even guaranteed a single katana, but still something that is important. Yeah, so we apologize. We're just having some quick technical difficulties with the flags. Final Fantasy Randomizer.com recently updated, so we are just having some flag string confusion, but it looks like we will be getting started shortly. There's another question in chat, I believe. Is there any way where killing the fiend would be faster than walking out backwards? And the answer to that is absolutely. So we do have free orbs on, but sometimes it's just going to be faster to kill Lich than it is to walk out of somewhere, for example. Or, you can just go kill Carrie. I believe, Volcano Chest is incentivized. So that's one of the big ones you're going to be seeing where they check the red dragon or the red dragon chest. And then they just go kill Carrie instead of walking out. So yeah, a couple other things of the flags that I'll just quickly touch on here as we kind of just chill out waiting for our flag to become official. We do have another interesting flag that is randomized status touch attacks. So that means that, instead of the vanilla poison touch and stun touch and, the death touch, there may be mute touch, and that one's quite scary. There could be dark touch. That one's not nearly so scary. But you can run into all sorts of different touch attacks. So that's something that you'll have to keep an eye out for. Any other flags that you kind of wanted to touch on here?
Well, I do like the free orbs like we were talking about earlier. That's going to make things interesting. You really only need the loot and the key to beat the game, depending on how the board rolls and what fiends you'll actually have to kill. So it can make things awkward or it can make things fast. And just to give our listeners a heads up here, it looks like they did roll a new seed, so the bonus analysis have changed. Fighter now, interesting enough, gains ninja spells. Let's see, the Thief, a little less appealing, just a 4 plus 20 HP. The Black Belt, again, gets level 1 spells and level 1 black spells. So level 1 access to white and black for the Black Belt could be interesting, I suppose. Red Mage is some Endef, White Mage, a couple extra charges at level 1, and Black Belt Black Mage some luck and vitality. So kind of changes up the way things were a little bit, but that Knight getting access to ninja spells could be kind of fun.
Black Mage with with vitality is actually, with luck and vitality, actually makes it quite good because the luck will make it approaching a thief, and the vitality is actually super important for the Black Mage. The Red Mage is powerful for a number of reasons, but one of the main ones is actually the fact that it just actually has an HP pool and can cast black magic. So, that shouldn't be under, it's obviously not as flashy as getting magic, but shouldn't be understated.
Yep, that's correct.
So if you were these runners, which of these columns would you, or rows or columns or diagonals, would you be considering completing by choice? Because remember, double anti-bingo, your opponent's going to pick one for you, and then you get to pick what other row or column or diagonal that you pick.
Well, I think that looking at the board, looking at, let's say, column 5 is a little appealing, depending on how Confused rolls. I guess I've actually changed that now the way the Thieves are, but column 4, Cake Lich, 2 White Mages, Visible Bahamut, 3 Giants, not too bad there. I mean, if Cake rolls good and you get access to a decent, fade at level 1. You can uncheck that middle one at the top and not use fade and just roll with that and just pick another row after the fact.
Yeah, I agree with that. There was another one that I was talking prior to our broadcast. I believe, which one was it? Yeah, Sir Licklob pointing out column 3. Column 3 is definitely not too bad. I also didn't mind if you were getting stuck into like the Take 2 Thieves, for example, anyways. Column 5 also not the end of the world. Garland Boxing's not too bad, and some of the other flags there. Row 4. Row 4 looking pretty easy. Yeah, successfully confused carry can be very, very, very annoying. Same thing, like any of the Fiend kills are good ones to pick in advance, because if you get level 8 confuse and you don't find a wizard staff, ugh, it can just be such a pain.
Yeah.
Ale saying row 2, 2 white mages and no Cure 4. Yeah, I was really hoping that like 2 white mages and Fade would be in the same row or column. That's always a funny one to match up because like white mages, they really lack for damage without Fade, right? And if you block them out of that, that's pretty brutal. Sorry, we're just continuing to have some technical difficulties, so we'll just get to keep talking about bingo. Let's get in some votes in chat. It looks like we got a number of people who are in the tournament hanging out here. What are everyone's least favorite bingo square to fill out? I mean, I guess that could be spoilers to your opponents, but yeah, Sir Lick-a-Lot immediately confused Carrie. So he's picking row 4, column 5 for his opponents. Gregley Puff asking, do we know which row / column / diagonal each runner got? Yes. So going back up. Ooh, there we go. Okay, Zerocool got column 2, and Rojo got row 4. I'll just make a little copy paste of this.
That row 4 could be interesting.
Yeah,
carry one. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see the logic for both column 2 and row 4. Like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What do you think of Shift's comment?
Yeah. I mean, that's not too bad. I think we discussed how column 5 is, certainly doable. Now, the take 2 thieves can make things a little complicated. But I mean, with the knight having access now to ninja spells, it can change things up a little bit. Maybe you can go knight, double thief, black mage or something, and then try to see what you can do with that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is a little awkward though. Like when you have to take 2 thieves and you don't have any red mages, it's a little bit awkward because like double thief white black is kind of bad. Double thief double black is kind of bad, and double white maybe if you have like ninja learnable fast and fade early, that could work.
Yeah, it really kind of depends on how the magic rolls this seed, and if you can get early access to tail and airship and promote and get spells on those ninjas very fast, it can help mitigate having to take 2 thieves. But that's a risk I'm not sure if I'd be willing to take.
Yeah. One quick note. So, a good question in chat here. What is the general feeling about starting the game, checking spells, and resetting to change your classes? No problem at all being new. Feel free to ask any questions. But we totally forgot to mention one of the most important flags that's on. Do you want to talk about that?
Let's see. Which flag were we talking about here?
Tavern recruitment mode.
Oh, yes. Very important. So, with the tavern recruitment mode, when you go to a clinic at a town, typically you'd only get to revive a character. Now our runners are going to get the opportunity to swap out the 4th character in their party in the slot with whatever character happens to be hireable at that location. So you can start with a different party than you end up with, depending on what you decide to do throughout the seed.
And I believe the take 2 is when you... is it at the very end, or is it when you defeat Chaos? That's probably a question people have.
I believe that you have to take 2 to start, and then have 2 at the end when you defeat Chaos as well.
Okay. Sir Link-a-Lot, of course, can clarify in chat if that is the case. Because, yeah, I remember there was a little bit of some start and finish only. So you can change it out of the middle, but you need to start with it and you need to finish with it, which makes a lot of sense. Because, for example, if you wanted to take a party with 4 red mages, but you needed to confuse Carrie, and confuse is level 8 black magic, well, then that could be almost uncompletable, right? So that's why they let you change it out in the middle. But these are intended to make it difficult to difficult, to finish the game. It's kind of hard to beat chaos with 4 red mages sometimes.
Yeah, I think I've only seen it done once or twice. Maya did that a few years ago, and he just rolled level 1 nuke the whole way down.
Yeah. Level 1 Fade, not quite the same as level 1 nuke, unfortunately. So we'll have to see. And once again, we appreciate everyone hanging out, listening to us chat about bingo as we wait for people to get stuff sorted out. Yeah, and certainly also clarifying that when you take 1 nut, you can never replace it. You can't get it and then down it at the end, because there's no recruit none from a tavern. Although that would be an interesting, kind of bingo only thing. Can you imagine if you could replace a character with a nun?
That's interesting. I mean, our devs are fantastic. They've got the new website up, which is beautiful, and they really have just a lot of really great ideas. So having a tavern access to losing a party member to a nun, that could be kind of fun and definitely really change things in the middle of a scene with running bingo.
That's what that's what the Melman Tavern should do.
That would be a fantastic idea right there. Yep. That would be absolutely fitting. Only Zozo Melman as well.
Only Zozo Melman, yeah. You can replace nuns at the Zozo Melman Tavern.
Yeah. You tri-state it and you won't even know until you get there.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, so yeah, I guess just a couple other quick notes, Final Fantasy Randomizer, great game to get started. If you're ever interested in checking it out, we support bingo play, we support non-bingo play, we support all sorts of stuff. Our spring tournament's coming up in a few short months. Never mind the fact that we also will have the Duckling Derby program starting up again in about 4-ish months here. So if you're ever wanting to get into Final Fantasy Randomizer, we've got tons of resources to help you out. Looks like we are getting closer, I think. Zerocool. Well, we'll see. They're still fighting. We just had a website update yesterday, which just leads to some people having browser caching issues with getting the right flags. So, yes, the dabbing sprites are 10 out of 10.
Looks like they did just roll another seed, so I'm going to pull it up and check out some stuff while we're still thinking about them.
Oh, nice. Good to hear. Yeah, absolutely. No problems at all. I play a number of randomizers, kind of outside of their main communities, just because I like to play them. So Final Fantasy Randomizer is really the only one that I play within the community. But of course, feel free to hang out and chat here. You can lurk, you can ask questions, do whatever you want.
Yeah, I lurked in the Discord for a few weeks before I said anything. A lot of great people in this community.
Yeah. And also, if you are lurking around, we recently added the resources section to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. So, a lot of that information that you previously would only find in Discord links are now just available for everyone to go check out. I mean, we're not really trying to hide it, but it's good that this information is just available to everyone. And some of the ones I really suggest, Magitech Factory, Groggy Dog's Final Fantasy resource for brand new players is 100% what I used when I started out. Has some really, really great information and a good solid strategy just to approach your first few seeds.
Dirty confession, I still use it.
Is that why you still play Fighter Rainbow?
I mean, yeah. I definitely use it for the trackers he has on there. A lot of great information. I took the world map quiz every now and again just to see how I was doing when I first started out. It's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I also like Cheesinator's guide on spells. It has not only the information on what the spells do, but it also has a rough ranking for them. It has when the spells are situationally good. It's kind of the next level up from Groggy Dog spell guide, which is here's the spells you should buy as a baseline, and that's the best way to start. But then Cheesinator's guide for spells has things in this situation you should probably be picking this spell up, or this spell is generally a C, but if you're missing this is when you want to pick it up. So I think it's a good way to kind of add some nuance to these spells are garbage and these spells are 10 out of 10. Yeah, also information on the Blur's classes. Huge fan of just walking through on Game Facts. There's also the Blur's classes guide, which we have plenty of new flags coming in. So something like the Blur's classes, it can be difficult to figure out, what all these various things do, but that's something that helps out there.
So speaking of Blur's classes, I think with this third C roll, we have things all together now. So the fighter bonuses are +5 luck, +10 MDEF, and they lose 10 hit percentage. So it puts a damper on the fighter now, losing magic. The thief +7 luck, +15 MDEF, black mage agility. So nah. The black belt, a little interesting. +20 MDEF, +20 vitality, -10 luck. So that -10 luck, not a huge deal, but extra vitality on the black belt, that'd be kind of fun.
That's a good black belt for sure.
Let's see, red mages +40 vitality, also black belt vitality, but they lose access to ribbons. White mage, I don't think anybody's taking a white mage, +30 HP, +15 hit percentage, no bracelets.
Yeah. A little tough.
Yeah. Black mage fighter strength +20 hit percentage, so the black mage will be punching for 10 damage instead of 5, and -10 MDEF.
Not great. I think the black belt's a little bit of a standout there. You can kind of see that with Zerocool's decision here to go black belt, thief, black mage.
That looks like it could be a fun party. I kind of like that idea.
So just a reminder to everyone in chat here, here are the assigned things. So Zerocool has to do column 2, which is why take 1 none, promote as soon as possible is a little bit awkward, and then hit level 40 on at least 1 character. So his ideal seed here is that he has his black belt, he finds a grind immediately, does his whole grind, and then this whole row is pretty great. The worst thing for him is King and Sarah have floater
tail,
and then he has to promote his black belt. Yeah,
and then you get canoe from Vicky, and it's over.
So one of the legends of speedrunning, Jay Coper, asking, what does promote as soon as possible even mean? It seems subjective. So it's actually not subjective here. It means literally as soon as you have the tools that are required to promote, you must do so immediately. And those tools are a way to get into the air, so the floater plus usually just a ship and canal, but sometimes a floater plus a canoe will also do it, and the tail. As soon as you have a combination that allows you to promote, you must do it immediately. Evidently, the only ambiguity is when there's a shop item, in which case it's do you have to sell your ribbon to get the tail? A little awkward. If you get the tail mid-dungeon, leave immediately. Yes. As soon as you open that incentive box and get the tail, you have to leave, which is awkward. Yeah, I think it's a good question about colorblind friendliness. I should probably bring that up with the tournament organizers, maybe. I'll bring that up. But I think the runners pick the colors in this case, but we can, maybe provide a better list of recommended color pairs. I have a couple friends who are colorblind, so I do agree with that.
I never thought of that. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. I know a lot of the runners, they'll just pick their preference without stating anything, but we can definitely provide hey, here's a couple color pairs you can use. So maybe that's something we can. Maybe not this tournament, but in future tournaments. It's a good point, though. Colorblind friendliness. I play a ton of board games, and you can really tell when designers took it. It usually doesn't even take any additional time, any additional money. It just takes a little bit of time just to do a quick once-over of oh, I need to add a symbol here for people who can't tell the difference between, blue and green. So important design considerations. Okay, Rojo in the final stages of making his party.
Right back. I see how many. And I was 4? I'm coming in.
4 is good. Thanks, man. Love you. Bye.
And our runners should be getting started very soon here.
We're just about ready to drop the gate in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging around with us, guys. This was fun.
Yeah. What Luffy didn't realize is when when he signed up for this, he was actually signing up for hanging out with me in the booth for 30 minutes, talking about various Final Fantasy randomizer concepts. But, you know, it's been good. I hope people stick around and enjoy the race. This has just been a 30-minute, you know, when like super hype streamers are going on and they put that like getting started soon really early, so like they get like 10,000 viewers. That's what we're doing right now. We're just like hype man for the show.
Yeah. Triple digits on a Monday afternoon. That's pretty good. I'll take that.
Yeah, so Shadow Flames is our tracker tonight, or this afternoon. It's very strange doing this on during the afternoon. Shadow Flames is our tracker, and yeah, he was pointing out that Rojo probably should not take a red mage, or else he just DQs himself.
I'm going to be very interested to see where Confuse rolls here. This could be very interesting.
The most important thing.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Rojo and Zerocool are ready. The stream is on a little bit of delay. So we should... Dark Moon will be dropping the gate shortly.
It's like he had a last minute change of heart. He's going to take 2 thieves, so we'll see how this plays out for column 5.
Yeah. Now keep in mind that he could take 2 thieves to start and just decide to not do that later, right? Because he can always uncheck that if he says like, you know what, this is too brutal. Because he's not forced into that column, but it does just, yeah. Jacob person asking why anyone would force column 2. I think there's the promote as soon as possible with the do not use fast with the hit level 40 is kind of awkward because 2 of those things you really want to do with the black belt, or sorry, 1 of them you really want to do with the black belt, also the none, but the promote as soon as possible, do not use fast, you really don't want to do. So, yeah. And we're off.
So we got level 1 Ice 3. That's not a bad sweeper to have early on.
No, also level 1 Warp is really, really nice. And it's good for things like promote as soon as possible. Yeah, so it looks like Zerocool's stream is just a little bit choppy here. But Rojo's going just fine, so we'll at least get a better look at the magic here. Yeah, Ice 3 Warp, always fantastic, but missing no Confuse.
Yeah. Let's hope Confuse level 2, or at the very least Elfland, otherwise we can be here a little while.
And here's the pub check to see what characters are available. I did not see that.
Yep, he did it twice and it was still too fast.
Okay, so viewers with quicker eyes than us said that Canaria was Red Mage, which is pretty solid for like the start with 2 Thieves party, for example. You can just be like, bye Thief, hello Red Mage, and then get it back later. Something of note for both of these parties is they don't have a great frontliner for like the first 10, 15 levels. So, you know, taking some enemies might hurt.
Yeah, we should be able to have Zerocool get that black belt online maybe a little sooner with the added vitality, but it's still not going to do very much damage till it hits the late teens, early 20s, so. Tough sledding in the beginning.
And we are just quickly syncing up the streams here. And we are relatively synced up here. So, first 2 items. Interesting.
Well, we got one of the items we need to find to beat the game out of the way. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the loot is especially notable as well as the key because once again we need no incentive items outside of the loot and key in order to win. Now, for row 4, successfully confuse carry, you will need the canoe or the floater. Those will be required because you need to get to carry. But if you're not beating any of the bosses, you can technically win with a lot less than what you normally would need.
That is correct.
The classic Final Fantasy Randomizer experience, getting ice-2'd by Gurims.
Oh, it's fun. Alright, Rojo gonna make his walk on over to Provoca. Bridge is on, but no other movement yet, so we'll have to find a canoe or a ship pretty soon.
Yeah, and also note that both of these runners are going to have to melee the pirates. I don't actually think meleeing the pirates is one of the harder bingo square boards. You kind of just do it and it's over with. But, we will be seeing many rounds, well, probably 3 rounds of punching, maybe 4. Bless you. Bless you again.
I thought I muted myself there, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I hit mute on my microphone, I guess I gotta hit mute on the actual Discord.
Now, unfortunate for, I just keep copy pasting this. Unfortunate for Zerocool, Fast is level 2, so that will be a very good spell for Rojo to be using in the late game if he does not decide to. Well, no, he's not doing row 2, so Fast is something that's almost certainly going to be available, as he also did not Garland Box.
Safety save before the pirate melee here, I like it. Just to be on the flip side.
Ooh, and Fog 2. Fog 2, a very rarely seen spell. This is one of those ones I was talking earlier about, like spell tier lists. Fog 2, not very high on the spell tier list, but very, very high on the, good against early game enemies like this. So nice niche usage of it. And did Zerocool just find 2 ribbons in Matoya's?
I was watching the melee of the pirates. I might have missed it.
Well.
Oh, wow. I guess he did. Our tracker Shadow pointing out that he did. Oh, boy.
That is going to be pretty important for Rojo if he decides to open those quote-unquote free boxes. Most runners will, but if you get the crystal really, really late and you say, you know what, nope, I'm not going to Matoya's until I get the crystal, and then you get it as you either don't get it or you get it last, we could see Rojo miss 2 ribbons in free boxes, so, oh boy.
Yeah, especially if the crystal turns out to be something that's not required. That could be interesting.
So, not only do we have a number of incentive items that are normally not required, that are normally required that are not necessarily required here, like, for example, the rod, we also have 2 duds, and the massa, and for some runners, the tail, all of which, you just might not need. So it's very likely there's going to be a number of incentive locations that you just never check, which means, you very well could just end up not getting the crystal.
Found our vendor item here, the rod for sale at the book, for 5,200 gold.
Slow clap man asking who keeps tabs of all of this. No comment on the average player of Final Fantasy Randomizer.
So you get the canoe here, Jab. What are you doing? You can go down toward Crescent Lake through the river system, or you can head over and check out. Or if you can hit up Matoya on the way back, where are you going right here getting the canoe?
So this is actually a really interesting question because we've been doing a lot of testing of the spring tournament flags, which kind of are this exact scenario a lot of the time. I've been leaning towards going more counterclockwise around Crescent Lake. or sorry, around the inner sea, which is what Rojo's doing. But with this particular set, because there's no marsh incentive, I would almost certainly be going to Crescent Lake next.
Looks like Rojo going to make a pit stop here and pick up those ribbons. Good for him.
Yes. An interesting play with 2 ribbons is you can, I guess if it was like the floater for sale, for example, you can definitely sell a ribbon for money here. But, I mean, selling ribbons +5 feels pretty bad, but ribbons are worth a ton of money, and it's something that I've seen, like, I was having some discussions with Crab Cakes about it, and it's definitely a viable play if, like, there's something for sale on Elfland for, like, 30k, and you've already cleared Marsh.
I mean, with those 2 ribbons, too, I mean, Zerocool could sell one with the black belt getting the MDF essentially of a ribbon at some point, and only need to hang on to one if they really want to pick up that rod. Looks like they're not going to do it, but it's a play.
Yeah. It is awkward to assume your black belt's going to get a ribbon MDF, though, when you have to promote as soon as possible.
True. The +20 MDF on the black belt itself might help enough early on, but we'll see.
Jacob are asking, wait, why are you selling ribbons? Sorry, I'm not saying in general you're selling a ribbon. Absolutely not. But there are some niche situations, if there's like a specific shop item that you really need to buy in the early game where you can sell a ribbon if you have a duplicate. But yeah, in general, please don't sell ribbons. Do not take this as, oh, chat tells me to sell ribbons. I should do it whenever I get it for 20k.
Yeah,
ribbons are the best gear in the game, so.
That's not an awful encounter off the hard reset there on Peninsula of Power that Zerocool's taken. A couple of Frost Wolves that went down to an Ice 3, which is counterintuitive, but it worked.
Yeah, the Pop Grind's an interesting play. So the reason the Pop Grind is good in the vanilla game is because you don't have access to any late game enemies. However, with the early canoe, you can actually just get to the Crescent Lake area if you can navigate the river system safely. And the Crescent Lake area actually has pretty good enemies to fight, especially when you have Ice 3. It's not good against the Zombies here. So going to Crescent Lake area to grind may be another alternative.
I think he might be trying to grab just enough money to buy that rod. But we'll see.
That's interesting. Now, the rod is something that's nice to pick up before you leave, but you don't really need it until later. And if you really do need to dive Earth, you can just come back and get it.
I mean, it's 5,200 gold. I mean, I would consider maybe something like this. You want to get that plus 10% XP, help that black belt out. But this might cost a little bit of time for sure.
Yeah. Getting some early levels, though, always a good idea, especially if you're thinking about going clockwise around the inner sea over to Crescent Lake. Getting some early levels just so you can navigate the river system a little bit more easily is going to help significantly. Gregory Puff saying, Pop Grind, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, at the same time, going to Marsh also, Marsh is not incentivized here. So going to Marsh is a interesting play. You can get some levels and things, but once again, you kind of have other options for getting some early levels. Like you can just go to Crescent Lake and try and find Pete's.
Still trying to find one of those most important spells of Confuse right now as well.
True, very true. Gurimps are grinding levels on Light Warriors. Yes, that is correct. The Gurimps magic is just as powerful as our own. Oh, okay, so black belts are available in Crescent Lake.
Free white shirt there for Rojo in Marsh.
Yeah, white shirt's nice. So what does the white shirt do?
The white shirt casts Invis 2 on the party, so not as good as finding the defense sword, which casts Ruse, but it will give you free evasion stacks.
Yeah, it works better when you have a multi-mage party, so you can cast multiple Invis 2s on turn 1, but it's much, much worse for a solo character, or for like a black belt comp. It also provides resistances to time and ice magic for the white wizard if it can equip it, so. And we have a crown. Around and round we go.
I think we'll be getting a high five from our runners here, maybe in the river system at some point.
This is what I like to call a pedometer seed. You just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. and Zerocool, are we making an ice play? So ice is generally very dangerous and something that's not recommended for low levels. However, with early warp, it's definitely possible and a relatively low encounter rate. But it looks like we're going to Volcano. I assume this is a spike tile check?
Could be. He's got level 1 ice 3, so Volcano not exceptionally treacherous, at least having a good sweeper. He might just be trying to grab some money or a few things out of the armory.
Ooh. That is not great news for our runner who has row 4, which is Rojo, as Nuke is level 3. So that's pretty early. So, you know, row 4 here for Rojo, kind of annoying. Can't use Nuke, still looking for Confuse. Those are kind of like the two worst things for him. He has to really hope that Confuse is here in level 4, because otherwise we're talking Melmond or level 7-8, which is going to be nasty. And looking at our tracker for tonight, Shadowed Flames, no Confuse in the first 4 levels of magic, so not great.
Shout out our tracker extraordinaire, put up the spoiler in the chat so as to not see where these magics landed. I'm going to leave that up. I want to be just surprised as the runners.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, Greggly Puff and Saracen both pointing out, oh boy, Sandwich Station. What do you think about sandwiches?
I mean, that is a pretty good find to find early on, especially with the black belt. If they have, 150 HP or less, you can get some of your levels and get that grind out of the way early, like you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been on broadcast here for a little bit, but something that we were bringing up earlier is this column 2 can be kind of annoying if you get the tail early and don't grind. But if you could just get your black belt grind out of the way super early, like, this black belt is going to be so powerful, and sandwiches are like perfect for doing that here.
Looks like the wizard did him a favor too and took out that thief. So level 12 on the black belt and the black mage so far for Zerocool.
So you see that he's moving some ribbons and things around. Black belts work a little bit differently than all the other classes in the game. They get armor equal to their level if they are not equipped with anything. However, in the earlier levels without magic defense that a black belt gets later, it's kind of risky to walk around without anything. So you're definitely going to want to keep some armor on it. Especially with a ribbon +5 early. It's like, that ribbon +5 is 6 armor. If you can get any sort of bracelet on it, you can get up to 15, 20 armor pretty easily. And that's definitely something that you're going to want for the black belt. Shoon Bobby asking in chat, thoughts on looking for a staff? The issue is that it's random treasures, so you might not even find one. Something that's a little bit unfortunate. Random treasures, a flag that has its ups and downs. Its ups, of course, are that you don't know what you're getting, so you can't make a perfect plan in advance. And the downs, of course, is you don't know what you're getting, so you can't make a perfect plan in advance. But yeah.
Looks like these sandwiches do have less than 150 HP, so this could be pretty ideal for Zerocool if he decides to just take this grind right here.
Yeah, this is oh man. Finding the sandwich station here is just so incredibly good, and also really paying off that early volcano play. Not something that I necessarily would have thought of to do, but it's going to pay big dividends here for the 3-man black belt party.
Yep, sure is.
Rojo, meanwhile, making that early ice play, which I kind of was expecting. Once again, early warp, and with just, you know what box the incentive treasure is here, you can just get in and get out really fast and relatively safely. Uh-oh.
I guess that's the risk you run sometimes.
I mean, I think the concept was good, but I think he just did it a little bit too early.
Yeah. Maybe getting to like 16 or so on that Black Wizard to kind of help out a little bit. And get the
I essentially will almost never start a solo grind on my black belt until it's about level 21. Just to make sure that I kill things, because black belts also work differently in how they do damage when they're unarmed. They get two bonus hits at level 21, 32, and 42. So, yeah, you really want to make sure that you're like 100% going to be able to one-shot them. One thing I do like that he did is he picked up all his heal pots in advance, which is really, really important for the black belt grind as well. But like, yeah, this is not ideal.
Yeah, this could get a little sticky. He needs a good turn order here.
Yeah, he needs turn order this turn. Gets it. Okay, he gets there.
Okay, that'll work. That should give him some decent levels. 15 still not exactly where you want to be, but we'll see.
If he gets a double sandworm tile, I think he dies more often than not. So hope for a single turn order.
Just not punching for quite enough damage right now.
Okay, looks like he's gonna get through. Oh, he got a critical miss there.
Yep,
oh boy.
Yep.
Exhilarating grinding. SpeedGaming 3 with the huge raid. Thanks a lot for tuning in to SpeedGaming 2. My name's Jad. I'm joined here in the booth by Luffy, and we are watching some Final Fantasy Randomizer opening round of the Double Anti-Bingo tournament. So if you've never watched Double Anti-Bingo before, what the goal is both you get to pick a row for your opponent, and you get to pick a row, and then they're going to pick one for you. And then you also have to complete a second row of your own choice. In this particular case, here are the rows and columns that the runners have to complete. So you see, for example, that Rojo already making very good work of row 4 here. Although successfully confused carry is going to be terrible. And then outside of that, you need the loot and the key and to win the game. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask in chat.
Greg Weepuff screaming in chat for saving.
Yeah. So we did find a pretty important item there in Ice Cave, which is the ship. With only one incentive remaining within the inner sea, it's very likely that ship's going to be required to kind of get out of here. There is a possibility that the floater is just sitting in Volcano, but unlikely.
Or that crown turns into the floater as well, but we'll see.
And Zerocool has gotten past the kind of scariest part of this grind. This is going to take... The sandwiches kind of max out around 200 damage at this point per turn. If he gets ambushed, as long as he's keeping his HP around above 400, he should be relatively safe here. But that's kind of the quick mental math you have to do to make sure that you don't get owned by, like, bad luck.
You might want to move that thief back up to the front spot as well, just to kind of protect these sandworms from deciding to run for their life pretty soon.
Yes, excellent point. So the way that morale works is it checks against the first character, whether it's alive or dead. So you got to make sure the sandworms have notoriously low morale, so you want to make sure that they don't run. Oh man, this is a wipe aside, and the wipe was relatively fast. This is like a perfect start for Zerocool for that 3-person black belt must grind to level 40.
Oh yeah, this is really good. Depending on where Confused lands here now, this can get kind of fast. You gotta really hope it's at level 5 though.
Yeah. I believe, though, one thing that is slightly awkward for Zerocool is I believe promote as soon as possible. You need to promote. You can't just be like, oh, I didn't get the tail, so I don't need to promote. So, I mean, he does still have to find that incentive item out there somewhere, but still, like, he's basically done his mandatory column at this point. I mean, I may be getting slightly ahead of myself, but this is going to be a grind to 40. He will not use fast. Like, yeah, he's in a nice spot here.
Yeah. this black belt still be punching for well over 1,000 damage at level 40 even without fast. So this should be nice. The scaling on the bosses isn't too crazy. You should be okay.
Rojo continuing to get the bad news that Confuse is nowhere to be found. My goodness, what an awful tile. What's your consideration if you're Zerocool on doubling up on row 5? Now, row 5, there was some... Oh, never mind. Take these. Sorry. What is your kind of consideration if you're Zerocool? Like, what do you think the second row column diagonal that you're looking at?
Looking at the... I think looking at the board here, you can maybe try to hedge your bets and see if you can finish out column 1. The talk to 3 robots and Mirage Sky, not too scary. Buy 1 of everything at the caravan. Get the airship, not too bad. 3 different dragons could be a little awkward, but you're going to probably come across at least 2 of them, no problem, at some point checking incentive locations. And just that C status elemental skill or spell. You know, a lot of things with shuffled things throughout the enemy pool. It could make it so it's not terrible to find. It would draw my eye for sure.
Jay Coper saying row 4 for sure. Well, row 4 is fantastic, except successfully confused carry is awful. My eyes are slightly drawn actually to column 3. If you see a fire elemental skill or spell at any point, Canoe from Elfland to Ice Cave takes a little bit of time, but it's not the end of the world. And if you got an Oxio, you could like just complete it. So like I would be like looking at column 3, like, hey, do one of these things happen magically? Like I get an Oxio or I see a fire elemental skill or spell. Because if those 2 things happen, I think column 3 is definitely like you can plan the rest of it out.
Yeah. Seeing how they already have 3 lit in that column 2, I should pay more attention to the colors instead of just thinking with my brain.
Thinking with your brain is probably the right thing to think with. Yeah, the odds of confusing carry, I believe, are around 30 or 30% or something. I think it's quite high. I might even be higher than that. It's more that getting the confused spell is hard, not the actual confusion of carry. I will check if we have seen Quake. I do not believe so. No, Quake is also missing in action.
I'm not sure if Zero bought Nuke there. That was pretty fast in the shop. It looked like he may have, but I hope he didn't.
And also, yeah, we do have to point out that Nuke is checked off right now, but that does not mean that he's not planning on using Nuke, right? So all of the do not use or start with this, they check off to begin with if they haven't done the thing yet, but that does not mean that they're not going to use it and then therefore uncheck it.
That's true. He could decide to abandon ship.
Yeah, a little surprising that Zerocool just didn't decide to just go, boom, I'm going to grind my black belt to 40. But there is, a small item benefit, I believe. So maybe he's thinking, I want to get a few more key items before I decide to go finish my grind.
I suppose, but I mean, finding those sandwiches there, I mean, you're getting almost 9,000 XP a pop with the solo black belt. I probably just stuck it out.
I agree. I'm just trying to think about, what reasoning there is to kind of leave. So.
And I'm assuming he took it to level 32. I haven't seen his level yet. Well, okay, I take it back.
Hmm.
Plot thickens.
So Iron Galls, with a vanilla black belt crit rate. That's also a pretty good grind for a level already 29 black belt.
Yeah, I mean, Oh, I think these fires had something nasty. I think they had some kind of stone touch or stone elemental thing to them. Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Nice use of Warp here. Warp, the best spell ever in Ice Cave, for numerous reasons. But yeah, Firefights, not terrible, but good with Ice 3, but Iron Galls. Also just Iron Galls.
Yeah.
Iron Galls have extremely high absorb or defense, but crits cut through that. So yeah. Let's see where Zerocool goes next. Looks like he's heading over to Provoca. This is kind of the counterclockwise ordering of it.
Smart play, too, because this is where his ship is going to spawn.
Correct. Yeah, something that people don't often realize is that the ship spawns always in the inner sea. If it's in Volcano, it's going to spawn near Elfland. And if it's in Ice Cave, it's going to spawn in Provoca. So important to keep that in mind. Also, the really tricky one is when it's in Crescent Lake.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it spawns on the Outer Sea dock, but it actually spawns in Elfland once again.
It looks like Rojo ran into that problem too. He was just at Elfland looking for his ship, and he's got to walk all the way back around because he found that same ship in Ice Cave. That feels bad.
And we're off. We are sailing. Looks like Rojo is finally going to let us know what that crown is, but I mean, Zerocool right on his heels. And we have dueling Astos fights. Key, I think?
Yeah, I think it was. I like this new flag that, once you kill Astos is when they will actually show you what you have a little bit. Yep, key.
Yeah. I 100% agree. There's exactly one use case, and that was like in Spring Tournament last year when there's like an incentivized Thor hammer. But outside of that, this is just like so much nicer for legibility and understandability. Now the key, that's a huge pickup, especially for this black belt comp. My goodness, I feel like everything's turning up Zerocool here because he doesn't have to kill any bosses. He can just grind. Wow.
Yeah. And he found a Vorpal +3 there for his troubles, so, I mean, that even gives the thief something to swing later once he promotes to a ninja. So, not bad. We'll see what we have a Canary lock, which is the set of eyes.
Checking a few extra boxes. I mean, here a wizard staff or something would be huge, but once again, fairly low chances of that occurring.
I saw the mage stick roll there in the dwarf armory real quick, and I thought for a second, and I remember no wizard staff, not mage stick.
Yeah, it's funny. I always feel like the wizard stick is more powerful. But like Confuse in 90% of seats is just not better than Fire 2. But in this particular flag set, oh boy, give me that wizard staff. Rojo making kind of the logical decision here to Dana Thief off. So in this case, we call Dan, or like letting a character die off. It's a way to redistribute EXP to other party members. And it makes a lot of sense here. You don't really need 2 high-level thieves. So I'm a little surprised he hasn't replaced one of the thieves with like a caster or something like that. But maybe if he wants to go with a 3-person party for the whole flag set, that makes sense. And looks like our TNT does indeed turn into the floater. So this is where, if I'm Zerocool, maybe you want to go finish your grind just in case you accidentally run into a tail.
Yeah, they found a free power bonk, I think, there too in the Dwarven Armory. So, I mean, free cast of Saber for that black belt, you're not going to really need to worry about fast at that point.
Yeah. The power bonk is actually a better item in many regards to the thief comp, because the black belt's at 42. They don't really need more damage, especially with vanilla black belt scaling. Vanilla black belts are like incredibly powerful. But yeah. Yeah, pointing out that the magic defense might be high enough already is a good point, because I did forget they also had that bonus MDef, right? Plus 20, I believe?
Yep,
which
plus 20.
is the equivalent of 5 levels of black belt MDef growth. So, you know, that means if the black belt is in the early to mid 30s when it promotes, it's going to be still totally fine. A little bit of interesting chat going on about bingo square discussions, but yeah, I mean, in general, in the Final Fantasy randomizer community, we abide by the be forgiving, but don't, take advantage of people when they do so. We've had lots of races where someone's accidentally not started a stream, or did something wrong that they didn't realize, and we want to be lenient, but in exchange, people try and act in good faith, race fast, race hard, but race fairly. So. So see, this is where I'm a little more concerned for Zerocool. Like, when you're checking this right away, like, if this is the tail, then yeah.
Commentator curse right there, Jakat.
Like, I don't think you really want to promote your black belt at 29. Like, if it's avoidable, which it is here.
It would have been if he just finished his grind. Now it's unavoidable.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Could he reset the sale and not do it? I don't believe so. I think that's also kind of like in bad faith.
Yeah, nah.
Like, our double anti-bagel tournament is competitive, but it's not, the most competitive thing on the, we're all here to have fun, so, we expect our runners to do so, and that's exactly what Zerocool is doing here. Just going and promoting, saying, you know what, it happened. I wonder what he was looking for.
I don't know. Maybe just trying to get a little extra key item boost before going to finish off his grind, but, I mean, it looks like he's going to go finish it off now no matter what. It'll be fine. It's not going to be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. 10% per key item is pretty good, but... Now, we do have to keep in mind that there's a number of other incentive items that are required to finish some of these tiles. For example, mermaids, you need the Oxyale. Robots in Mirage Sky, you're going to need the Chime in the Cube. Yeah, so, it is still important to get a few of these items. Jay Coper pointing out an interesting thing for our top runner, Rojo, here. He's actually just confused away, really, from board go mode. Because buy one of everything from the caravan's like free.
Yeah. Very sneakily got that diagonal in there.
And yeah, there's a difference between nuns and Dans or dead characters. Oh no, it's all good. It's people are playing so fast, it's very difficult to pick things up, especially in a race scenario.
All right, so if you're Zero Cool right here, Jad, you're going to finish off your grind. You're going to get your black belt to 40 or 42. What are you doing after this right here? You have everything filled out except that confused carry spot. What are you thinking you're going to do? You're going to go around, find confused right away? You're going to dig and try to see if you can find that wizard staff? What's your play?
Since we've already done the promotion, I would just go by confused. Like, yes, it could be level 8, but you're so close to that, and you're not really that close to anything else. Like, the only other one that he could have been close to would have been the take 2 thieves. If he had taken 2 thieves, he would also have that diagonal. But looking at his other options, not a lot of good choices, especially with Garland boxing off the table.
Yeah.
I feel like just going and buying confuse is probably going to do the trick. Now, the issue is that you're going to need to be, I believe, it's either 21 or 22 to cast level 7, and then 24 to cast level 8. So he actually does need a few levels on that black mage in order to get that confused. And if you only have one cast, it's like, how many times do I want to walk up and down?
Right.
But it's still probably the fastest play, even if you have to walk up and down a few times.
If you want to get funny again, looks like Rojo has found the second mage stick over there in Ordeals. So that's the seed just having a little fun now.
Yeah. Mage 6 being rude. I like Rock Solid's comment. If you punch down Chaos, does it count for Garland boxing? I mean...
if we had all final boss on, that kind of counts, right?
That checks out. So yeah, we appreciate everyone sticking with us as we went through the technical difficulties, but we got a blazing fast seed here.
Yep. Let's see what Rojo does from here. He might go around and see if he can track down Confuse, see if he can check out the other spells. I haven't seen him hit up Gaia or Lefane yet.
Yeah, that's going to be a mandatory check for our runners at this point.
Yeah. Normally I don't like going to either place if I don't have the bottle or the slab translation, but it definitely it's more important to go there than have those items right now.
Okay, level 40. And yeah, that's, my goodness, the mind games that are going on right now. If I'm Rojo, yes, I'm 2 squares away, realistically 1 square away from go mode, but I also just saw my opponent say, I have a nun, I'm not going to use fast, and I have a level 40, probably black belt.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that would have scared me more is if you saw him light that up 20 minutes ago when he was doing the grind in the beginning.
Oh, okay, but he is choosing to buy nuke. Now, that does not mean that he's definitely going to not do row 4, but, you know, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, level 7.
There it is. Alright, so it's in Gaia. That's not ideal by any means, but certainly better than finding it down at Lefane.
Yes. Also, level 7, not only do you need less levels, but you get more casts of it at lower levels as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're not getting level 7 at level 17 here. Some grinding is going to be required.
Yep. No, this is going to be this will be 2-man action here probably.
Mm-hmm. Everyone likes sandwiches, except for me when I was growing up. It drove my mom insane.
When you did have a sandwich, Jad, did you like it cut in triangles or squares or rectangles?
Wait, I exclusively triangles.
Oh, thank you so much. Triangles is the only way.
Triangle master race? Okay.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah, triangles, and nowadays I like to make it with pickles and like panini, like grilled. Yeah, that's how I like it.
I got a panini press at my house here too. I like using it now. Yeah, that's some good stuff.
No crust. That is not really a hot take, but I have this thing. I don't know if people have like breakfast lifesaver, or sometimes called breakfast lifesaver, which is like a Christmas morning meal. At least in Canada it is. But I have a hard and fast rule about no crust on that here. It drives me insane when there's crust on in the lifesaver. Yeah. So Zerocool did find Confuse. What is the plan?
I mean, I think that you go back to the sandwich station, you get some levels on that black mage, and you just go finish your squares, right?
Yeah. Is he debating? Oh, this is interesting. Is he debating row 1?
It could be. Now,
where's Quake?
Yeah. I don't think we saw Quake yet. Check the notes by our tracker.
Yeah, Jay Coper pointing out maybe column 1 too, but then he's gonna need to find the cube.
Yeah.
See, something that I mean, once again, I haven't been playing a ton of bingo, but something that is in general a good strategy is that there's a known strategy that's going to take a set amount of time with 100% success rate, essentially. It's generally going to be faster than doing the risky strategy, especially if you don't feel like you're behind. So in this case, you can guarantee just go confuse carry. You know, maybe it'll take a few tries, or I have to go to a bunch of incentive locations to try and find a cube, and I could, you know, have huge variance there. So it looks like he is checking incentive items.
Yes, he's trying to leave his options open, but I really feel like the better play here is just get some passive and confusion on that black wizard and just go take out carry right now.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, you have the sandwich station just waiting there.
Yeah, it's right there in the same spot. And our tracker, Shadow of Flames, pointing out in chat that the only magic shop we have not seen is Lefane, so therefore ... about cake.
Yep, cake is expensive and hard to make here. Okay, I think it's time for Rojo to go and demonstrate the great confusing of carry. Oh, a little bit more grind first. He probably wants 3 casts of it. Also, sandwiches are just fast, and he just needs levels for Topher.
Yeah, they're going down to quad X even. They got less than 150 HP. So. Not sure I would have that black mage up in the first slot, though.
I think he might actually be thinking more for his Temple of Fiends Revisited dive, that he wants some levels on his ninja. Because remember, unlike the black belt comp, he doesn't have like an immediate victory condition of like, I'm going to press A and kill everything.
Yeah.
Zerocool, what is the plan? Show us your wisdom.
We can grab some heal pods. Some magic.
Oh, he's looking for Quake. I'm pretty sure he's looking for Quake.
Yeah.
I wonder if a possible plan for him here would have been if he had started with 2 thieves. I guess your comp would be 2 thieves and a black belt, but would have been interesting.
Yeah, and it kind of might have worked out okay here too, considering how early they found those sandwiches. But that's not something you predict very early on, so I get it.
He's really looking for that Quake and not finding it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that confused. I think he's just kind of put it all together now.
Lefane just such a terrible spot to have any magic. It takes forever to walk to. They're level 8, so you need way more levels in your black mage than you want. Yeah, so you can see the... Oh, goodness, where is it?
Yeah, the disdain is real right now.
Okay, so if you are a Rojo fan, it is time to get out whatever RNG manipulation emotes that you want, as he is about to go and attempt to confuse Carrie.
How many charges does he have of that? I think 3, maybe?
3? Yeah, I want to say he's like level 25.
Okay. Alright, that's certainly doable.
Oh yeah. He could 100% low roll it, but it's definitely doable.
And to be honest, too, Volcano is a pretty quick dungeon. If this doesn't work and you got to reset out and try it again, I mean, it's not that tough of a walk down.
No.
So.
I think he's checking this for a Masa. There is an incentivized Masa in the pool, so... Because remember, Rojo is basically done. He just needs to go buy everything at the caravan. And hopefully didn't accidentally use Nuke. I don't think he did. I think he used Ice 3. Oh wow, Zerocool is committed to defeating Lich with Quake.
Yeah, I think he used I really want to use that nuke or something, because it makes so much more sense to me that just go confuse Carrie is the better play than trying to kick down Lich.
Titan's Robe is incentivized, so that Ruby will turn into something. Yeah, 3 charges of Confuse, level 24. Oh, you get a level 7 spell slot a level earlier than I thought. These things rarely come up. You usually are caring about if you want to get 1 or 2 for fast exclusively. But yeah, 3 charges. Here we go. The A-Rub cast.
First confuse, ineffective. Second confuse, hits!
Hit! He's done it!
Wow, that's big.
We should see it marked on the tracker shortly. You are required to mark squares as they're done, but like, you know, it's okay to be in a fight and be like, okay, I'm gonna do it after the once again, good faith. You can absolutely just be like, okay, I'm gonna do this after I finish this fight. I would have to get a root.
Rojo just used fast.
Yes, and Rojo has unmarked do not use fast, because he's just gonna go buy one of everything at the caravan.
Yep, I see it. You're right. I mean, I guess technically, even if he wanted, he could have just confused Carrie and then reset out of that fight and just been done. He didn't even have to finish it.
That's what I was gonna ask, is if there's a requirement to actually like save after you like do it and survive, but I'm not sure on the exact rules.
Be a good question for Gregory or Sir Linkolot to answer in chat for us, but I'm pretty sure the way it's worded, it does not say confuse and defeat Carrie.
Oh, so you have to win a fight for it to count, but you don't have to necessarily live past that. So I guess you can just reset after you beat Carrie.
Okay, fair enough.
Like the orb save, you're like,
you're right,
1,000 experience points.
You're right there. It's fine.
So Rojo needs to go buy one of everything from the caravan. Looks like he's just doing his final preparations here. I think fast on his ninja is what he's going to go pick up. Never mind.
Alright, Zerocool going down to try to take out this shot at Carrie. I don't know how many charges of confuse he has yet.
Could not tell you. Hopefully at least 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a Vorpal +3 that the ninja's swinging angry enough.
Looks like 1, maybe 2. Looks like he's level 21. So, I'm not so Zerocool spent a lot of time kind of running around trying to Quake Lich instead of just confusing Carry. But now Rojo's kind of running around trying to make sure that he can beat the Temple of Fiends Revisited, because once again, not nearly so free for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really close matchup here.
Yeah, I mean, the way this started out early on, we weren't exactly sure. They went very, very fast right now. We could be looking at hour 10, hour 5, depending on how this Temple of Fiends is.
Yeah, this is a full Temple of Fiends Revisited. So encounter rate's low, so not like super slow, but still.
50%, I think. So it's going to take him about 10 minutes to do a normal dive down there. So we'll see.
If the Fiends fights take time, like for a ninja comp, absolutely. For the black belt comp, I would expect closer to like 7 minutes or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's.
I think I've seen them, as fast as 5. Yeah.
Press A, dies. Press A, dies.
I did a practice a week or so ago where I had to take a character to 50, so I decided to take a black belt, and it was just nuclearing everything on the way down. It was very fast.
Okay, here's the moment of truth for... Oh, interesting. Okay, so... Rojo was looking for fighter. So he wants to go fighter, thief, thief, black mage.
Perhaps looking for a little bit of a meat shield.
Yeah, I think so. Nope. Missed his first confuse. I think he has one more. Oh. No, he does not. If you kill Carry there, are we gonna try and confuse Carry on the way down? Or are we just committing to Lich?
I guess we'll find out.
So, Carry on the way down, I was just looking at this. I believe it's like 15% or something like that. 14.9%. So, oof.
Yeah.
I don't know how many dragons Zerocool has killed. Now, Robots in Mirage Sky is available.
He's got to talk to 3 of them, so he's going to have to go at least up the Sky 4, right before the maze, I think. We've got 1 on the first floor, 1 on the teleport floor, and then the next one's not till the floor of 14 chest, I think.
Yeah, floor 2, floor... maze floor, and floor 3, I think. Sky 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, 1 here. No, there's 1 here as well, yeah.
So here, teleport room, and then all the way up on
Sky
the,
3.
Yeah.
So...
Empty Eye pointing out Tyro, friend, not food. Tyro, always steak.
So Rojo's really been spending some time on this prep. I understand the fear, but wait, what is he? Okay, no. He's going to. Okay, he's just going to the caravan. A little bit of he kind of missed some possible proximity routing here because he's been here a few times, but
yeah,
that's okay. Airship routing not nearly as punishing as like boat routing. Oh, never mind. You can do 3. You can talk to 3 robots just on the first 3 floors.
Oh, I didn't realize there was 3 on the first 3 floors. Okay, well that definitely saves a little bit of time. Ooh, blue steak.
Oh, I thought for sure that you would require the cube in order to accomplish that. So that actually is not as nearly as bad as I thought. And he says he's killed 3 dragons. So both are runners in go mode right now.
I think I saw him kill a gas dragon, maybe a frost
Waterfall.
dragon. Ice. Yep. And then it had to be either a blue or a red dragon. I know I've seen them on the screen, so yeah, I guess he did.
And both our runners are in the Temple of Fiends Revisit at almost the exact same time. But once again, the huge edge here to Zerocool, just because, like, he has a black belt. Like this Temple of Fiends Revisit is going to be a lot simpler for him.
Black belts are not the great equalizer; they're the great cheat code.
Yes. Black belts basically say defeat fiends, the cheat code. Or insta-KO, I guess.
I think I saw someone throw in a chat the other day that they cast Quad X, but it's got 2,000 on the damage cap. That might have even been you.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's another great flag that our developers recently introduced. I've been using it for some testing. It's really nice to have a spell that has unlimited range to kill a single target, because you can beat Temple of Fiends Revisited with level 5 Black Mage. But that's basically what a black belt is. It just takes a little bit more work to get.
Runners holding hands right now on the same spike tile right here before the replay.
Neither of them can use nuke.
Annoying for Ghost for sure. And looks like Zerocool is down a light warrior already, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, that does matter. I mean, the fiends are going to hurt, and it's not so much you're worried about your... Well, actually, your Black Mage isn't even casting fast, so it doesn't matter too much, to be honest. You just really have to hope that they don't have Death Touch or Stun Touch, even though it's a very low chance of getting hit, but like, yeah.
Well, if there was a question about the 3 dragons before he got here, he's definitely got them now.
Yeah, I think he's got them just in Temple of Fiends Revisited by itself.
Yeah.
And that is a legitimate strategy. You have to have completed your card prior to defeating Chaos, not prior to entering the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
I always forget that that's that could be a thing. You know, you can do a little Temple of Fiends strats. Like right here, even they're going to get that kill 2 different worm pile without even trying.
Ooh, Zerocool though down to just his black belt. And yes, we said that this black belt's OP, but the one thing it's not great against actually is clearing like big mobs. So if he runs into like a, 8 Gurmaduce encounter on the earth floor, for example, it's just going to slow him down a lot. It's not so much dangerous, just slow.
I'd move that one of those mage sticks we found right away onto this black belt just in case something like that happens.
Definitely a good idea. And here we go, Lich gets pulled.
And Sir Lingalot pointing out the vampires on TF4. Yeah, the Team Edward party pack is nothing fun to see.
The Twilight fan club. But, Rojo having issues of his own. You can see the damage isn't great. Yes, that ninja just did 400 damage fasted, but that's a fasted ninja doing 400 damage. It's not ideal. On Lich.
1 punch down for Zerocool there. So just like that, he's almost caught all the way back up.
Yeah, heal pots are going to be a little bit of a concern. The most dangerous part for Zerocool is actually the encounters on the way right now. He really needs to get some good floors here.
Yeah.
Like, not this.
Ambushing Grey Worms and everybody's favorite floor, the sea floor.
Oh yeah, the seafood party platter is going to be nasty.
Especially if they ambush with no way to, really trust running with that black belt master.
Ooh, turn 1 Ginkgo.
Return.
Carry down.
Wow.
Oh. Also, really, really good news for Zerocool. Carry had slow too. That was a potential loss condition.
So far, the seafloor being kind. That's a heck of a run on the right floor right there.
Gets turn order 2 to preserve some extra HP, which helps a lot. Why are we wasting steps? Because the runners either are nervous or just don't realize that they're wasting a few steps. But there's no advantage to wasting steps. There is actually strategies though where you need to like walk around a floor for a while to go find a worm or something.
All right, tier 2 punch. 7 hits, 1160 damage. Lighting 2 free turn punch and down again. Okay. This black belt is making all the difference for Zerocool right now.
Yeah. A couple more key steps here. This frost is good. This is going to take some time, but the safest thing to do here, actually, I think it's unrunnable, but yeah, just punch away.
Yeah. Yep. 10 hits, 2200 damage. That's just gross.
Yep. Unnerved black belts. Oh boy.
Oh, just like that, level 50.
So this black belt has a 50% crit rate. It crits on half of its punches. It is insane. And yeah, he's through. So this black belt is going to average about 1,000 damage on Chaos here. He could just decide to go pure offense.
Yeah, I would probably just swing away right here, and I wouldn't even bother any stacking of evasion. Just power and speed.
Yeah. Ooh, Bane. Not a high percent chance, but definitely a little scary.
Yeah, definitely a little scary. I've seen that hit on ribbons.
And that's it. That's all she wrote.
There you go.
Zerocool, our winner in this race, with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 28 seconds. GG to Zerocool. Man, can you imagine if he lost that race on a 3 and 256 Bane?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I've seen it happen to me in the Duck Derby. I got a 3 256 Bane, so yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it happens.
Oh yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
You win some, you lose some. But you have fun doing it, and that's the important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, an interesting race. A good way to start the bingo for both runners. There's some plays on both sides that they made, some calls that they made, but I think ultimately a lot of this came down to board select, like row selection, row column selection, and then just the freest sandwich tile in the world for a column that wasn't super tough to begin with. So yeah, I think Rojo had an interesting strategy as well. I think just giving the black belt column, and then having an early grind was a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Tina saying black belt doesn't seem to really lose. So black belts don't seem to really lose in Temple of Fiends Revisited. They lose before Temple of Fiends Revisited. The only analogy I could think of was poker, but I'm trying to think of an analogy. But basically, it's like one of those things where, when they're in the lead entering Temple of Fiends Revisited, they very, very rarely lose, but they can often enter Temple of Fiends Revisited after another runner, and that can be the big detriment. J. Coker saying he needs to learn ship spawns before the next tournament. Yeah, so ship spawns, the big ones are Ice is Provoca and Crescent Lake and Elfland. Crescent Lake and Volcano are in Elfland. Those are the big ones. Everything else is pretty much what you would expect. And we are joined in the booth by our first place overall, too much Duck Derbies. We are joined by our winner, Zerocool. GG's.
Yeah, thank you very much. Oof, what a race.
Yeah, we were just saying that it seemed like things kind of went pretty, at least in the early game, things went pretty well for you, and then just getting the last tile or two filled out was kind of your stumbling block.
Yeah, I was starting to sit there and look at my board and just sort of flying around randomly. It's like I was trying to find Quake and Confuse in case I needed to go that route, and finding out that they were level 7 and 8 respectively was kind of annoying.
Was there, so like we were kind of discussing like just the possibility of just saying, you know what, I'm just going to confuse Carrie because I'm already, 4 out of 5 ways done that row, even though Confuse was level 7. Was there like a consideration for just saying, I'm just going to grind my black mage a little bit and just do that? Or were you, really trying to keep your options open? Like, what was the thought process there?
Well, I was going to try to go down. I was going to get the Volcano chest. And I was like, I've got one shot of Confuse for Carrie. Give it a try. If it doesn't work, then I was already like at that point 2 out of 3 dragons killed, and 3 robots in sky. I didn't even need cube, but I wanted to make sure I had cube just in case to be able to make sure I find my dragon and talk to the robots at the same time.
I see. That makes sense.
I almost used nuke, but I was like, no, I want to save that square just in case.
Yeah. Interesting, actually. Yeah, we saw you pick up nuke, and we were considering that. Rojo is on Chaos here, having obviously a little bit more difficulty than you were having, especially as this ninja is swinging a Vorpal, and when it doesn't crit, it does very, very, very little. But he does have Power Bonk and Defense, which are kind of the magic I can get through anything combination.
Yeah, I had Power Bonk too, but by the time I reached Chaos, my master was level 50, so it was like,
Yeah.
Chaos throws out a nuclear right there.
These are the best Banes. That he's very, very, very happy to see these Banes. Now, the thing is, this ninja is going to have a huge damage range. Yeah, like that. With the Vorpal. It could roll 100 damage, and it can sometimes do 500, so...
Now, one thing that I was shocked to see was the Latoya double ribbon chests.
Oh, and he gets through.
Hey, nice job, Rojo.
Yeah, we were wondering if they were going to, like, if one of the runners was going to skip it, but you both checked Matoya pretty early, and picking up double ribbons right beside each other, always a nice find.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that on Bingo row selection, the reason I gave him row 4 was I liked the cannot use nuke and the melee the pirates, but the confused carry. I remember watching a dab that I think it was Caleb had, where he had to confuse carry, but he didn't have anyone who could confuse. So I kind of wanted to throw that in there just in case it threw a wrench in any kind of Rojo's plans.
I definitely think that your row selection ended up playing a little bit better. Although, to be fair, you almost finished that exact row that you gave him by choice. So just the way things roll. But yeah, confused carry was definitely the evil one there.
Yeah, column 2 really wasn't that bad because I was leaning towards taking a black belt anyway. They always reach up to 40. Promote as soon as possible really didn't bug me because I found those sandworms early. So I had a chunk of grinding done before I even found the tail.
Was there any consideration about going a little bit higher on that grind before you checked more incentive locations just to make sure that your black belt got enough MDef, or were you with the plus 20 blessing and level 25 or so, it's going to be good enough?
Yeah, I figured 28 was going to be good because it was starting to basically not give me a level of battle, so I wanted to try to find a few more items. I knew my other characters were going to need a little bit more. Turned out they were just going to both be dead before the first fiend anyway.
We are joined in chat by our second place finisher on stream, Rojo. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you?
All right, man. How do you think that seed went? How do you feel about the board?
Honestly, the board itself is a little more forgiving than some of the practices I did, but we had some technical difficulties getting set up, and so I didn't really study it as carefully as maybe I could have, and just kind of threw me off my game a little bit there. But it's all right.
Yeah, I feel like your roast, like what you did, actually worked out pretty well for you. Obviously, getting successfully confused carry was annoying, but that's how double anti-bingo goes. But like choosing that diagonal was both sneaky and worked out quite well for you, I feel.
Yeah, I got a lot of use out of the thieves early on, particularly in like Ice Cave and stuff. Because thankfully there weren't, a bunch of unrunnables in there like there were in the first couple floors of Topher. So yeah, I got to accomplish a couple things pretty easily, and then you just let one die for a little bit, try to get a couple levels, and go from there.
Now, what was your thought process behind picking column 2 for your opponent?
I figured primarily, one, if you have to promote as soon as possible, that's kind of bad for a black belt, which I assume you would take if you're going to be forced to go to level 40. Also, if you are unable to find a decent grind tile, getting to 40 can take quite a while, just looking for one. So that was kind of the thought process behind it, but there was at least one decent grind tile pretty early on.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the unfortunate, that was one of the big deciding factors, I think, in this race. Was row 2 could have been really good, but in this scenario, just with like those sandworms just available for free in one of like the best locations, it definitely it made, let's put it this way, you entered Temple of Fiends Revisited about 30 seconds before Zerocool. But black belt's going to do black belt things.
Yeah, I probably should. Well, yeah, I think what I really should have done, because I was having difficulty getting the thief to stay alive, or I guess the ninja to stay alive when I was trying to get him some levels over there. What I should have done is replace the white mage with a fighter sooner, because I think a fighter would have had the durability to stand there and get hit, and then also would have swung the Vorpal better in the end anyway. Ultimately, I did get the fighter just for some extra durability instead of the white mage, because Life 2 was available for night. But I think I should have just done that sooner.
Awesome. Do you have any questions for the runners here?
No, I think they answered everything pretty much pretty good. It was a great race to watch. Zerocool, I guess I'll be seeing you when we plan our race, man.
Well, it's definitely going to be a match. Right now, I went through and looked at the predictions. It's like everyone's predicting that either way, if versus me or Rojo, either one of us, that you were going to beat us. So, well, let's see if I can beat the odds.
You got to race the race in order to win. So I don't put any stock in projections. I just want to have fun and do a good job.
Yeah, it's all about the fun.
That's right.
Awesome. So let's pass it over to our runners then for some final thoughts. Let's start with Rojo. Do you have any kind of final thoughts for the seed for the first race of your double anti-bingo tournament? Now, this is, if you look at the bracket, if you look at one side, it may look like that's it, but no, we do have a loser round, so you are not out yet. Any kind of thoughts going forward?
Well, I mean, I've never done bingo before, so this, I did a couple practice seeds before the race, but it's interesting. Definitely keeps things fresh, and gives you a lot of options just as far as how you want to complete the game. aside from that, it is I probably spent almost as much time understanding the rules and what everything means as I have practicing. But well, once you get it down, it's a lot of fun. Aside from that, I think I'm going to be playing Caleb in the next round, which means that I will probably be out of the tournament fairly soon. But hey, it's fun either way. GG to Zero, and best of luck in your next match.
Awesome. Passing it over to Zero. Final thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, Rojo, and GG to you too. Don't just assume because you're against Caleb, it's going to be a complete loss. You never know what the bingo board's going to throw. You never know what the stats are going to throw. Just have a good time and play it out. But as far as everything goes, it's been definitely fun. I've had played a few bingo games, not many, so the tournament kind of got the blood pumping a little. I think this is my first 1v1 match I've ever had, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your first 1v1 match and your first win. So I've been Jad. Thanks a lot to Shadowed Flames for tracking and for SpeedGaming for having us on here. And I'll pass it over to my co-coms to get us out of here tonight. Or this afternoon.
Thanks, Chad. I'm going to echo that as well. Thank you to SpeedGaming for hosting us. Thank you for Chad for co-comming with me. And thank you to Shadow for tracking and our runners for a great race. Thank you, everyone that came down and joined us on this wonderful Monday afternoon. So join us in the Discord, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, if you want to play the game and have some fun with us. So everybody, thanks. Ciao and chillax. Final Fantasy Randomizer fam, we gone.